So there's something I would like to share with you. We always talk about the value of knowing who our ancestors are, but sometimes regret the fact that we didn't capture information from them or didn't sit down and talk with them enough. I'm here to tell you that you may be walking around with all of that information right here. So listen in, let me tell you about some things that took place that will help you uncover that. I had an opportunity to work with a family during a family reunion, and something really nice happened. I engaged them in an activity that led to some revelations. First, I asked someone in the audience to tell us a story about someone else in the room and tell a story about that person and how they impacted their lives. And a story that maybe that person is not aware of. So let me frame it again for you. I pick someone in the room and tell them something that they did that impacted me and my life and that they don't know about it yet. So this would be the first time that they hear about it. And that's what I did. And that ended up being rather interesting. And then once it was done, that person got an opportunity to pick someone else and do the same. So that leapfrogged around the room until it got to two elderly sisters. They were pretty much the last people in the room. They got up and started talking about their mother who was no longer there. But this person that they were talking about was the ancestor to most of the people in the room. And they started talking about their mother, and they mentioned that she would sing a song to them to put them to sleep. Now that seems pretty average and ordinary. I mean, okay, that's something some people do. But then they both tried to remember the song that she sang to wake them up. So she sang them to sleep and she woke them up with a song. And as they remembered that song, we in that room saw these two elderly ladies turn into their mother. Their physical demeanor changed. Their voices changed. The look in their eyes changed because they could see their mother. In their mind's eye, they could see their mother. And what they did is they brought their mother right into that room for us to see. Anyone sitting there would have a total understanding of what their mother was like. So I say to you, when you tell the stories of your ancestors, your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, and your uncles to those people who never saw them, you are bringing their spirit, you're bringing their demeanor, you're bringing their personalities, their knowledge, their wisdom, the mistakes they made that you can learn from to another generation. Another occasion that proved the point for me, I was talking to someone, and right in the middle of the conversation, she reminded me of someone else. So I said, "Do you have any sisters in the area?" And the person said, "No." She was defiant. I mean, she knew she didn't have any sisters in the area. I said, okay. And I allowed her to continue her conversation. And it just bugged me. I kept hearing and thinking of someone else, but I didn't have a name to it at the moment. It was just resonating with me. Someone close to me that I knew, and I'm hearing this person. And then finally I got it. I said, "Oh, do you know?" And I called the person's name. And the look of shock on the person before me was amazing. Stopped in her tracks. She got on the phone and called her dad. And she said, "Does," and for I'll change the name, "Does Barbara live in this area?" And her dad said, yes. What's her last name? And her dad told her. It was the person I was talking about. And they had not seen each other since they were children, or maybe twice in all their lifetime. So what that said to me is if they did not get this personality from their parents alone, then they may be emulating their grandparent, because these two people sound alike, moved alike, thought alike, and of course they looked alike because they were cousins. They were actually first cousins. They were walking around with the personalities of someone that they didn't know. It took a third party to figure that out. And on another occasion, someone walked into a room while I was giving a presentation at my family reunion, and I didn't know this young person. And I said, I don't know who you are, but you are. And I gave a last name. And then I panicked because sometimes you don't know what's going on. There may be some secrets out there, because we all have them. And as it turns out, I was told later that I solved the family debate, because one person said that, one part of the family thought they looked like part family A, and the other part said that they looked like family B, or the father's side of the family or the mother's side of the family. And I clearly gave this child the name of a grandparent on the mother's side, because I said he looked like, and it was his mother's maiden name, because he was not the name that I called. He was a descendant of a grandparent and that personality. So when you say, I wish I could have talked to my grandmother or grandfather and gotten the stories, well, actually, you have them in your head, and somebody's going to be saying that about you at some point in time. So what you need to do is tell that story. You can tell it like I'm telling it right now. I'm talking to a computer, but I'm telling a story that is a part of my life in hopes that it will benefit your life. That's why I do what I do. I want you to enjoy the experience of the story.